What is up, everybody? We're back. We are back. Hope everyone had a nice long weekend. The weather was disgusting, and so were the basketball games this weekend. I think they tricked us, right? Typically, the first round is shit, right? Typically, the first round is shit. But in the first few games of the first round series, we get a lot of exciting stuff, and we're like, wait a minute, is this going to be the year? And the playoff games were pretty bad this weekend. Pretty bad, but let's see who we got up in here this morning. We got Michael Beamer, Ryan B, Stan Chunk, Jay Whirls, Rocket Silas, Artemis. Guys, the gang's all here. We love this. Adam Stubbs, Jack Loud, Joseph. Guys, gang's here. We love to see it. All right, obviously, we got a big show today. We've got a big show. So big, NBA Top Shot was like, let's shut down the marketplace. Let's shut it down so everybody can focus on this, right? Shout out Dick Chuck. No, this is actually older stuff, but I feel like aesthetically, it's not great to have these Mickey Mouse ears, so I've been using some shit stuff. Patrick McGuire up in here, Caleb here. Yeah, all right, let's get a few business things out of the way before we get into the nitty-gritty. If you haven't liked the stream yet, just like the stream. Let's get a bunch of people in here. This is exciting. If you're in here, I'm sure you've already subscribed, but if you're holding out, get in there. You can follow us on Twitter. All of the stuff is right in there in the show notes. But more importantly, cheers, sponsor me, you goddamn cowards. All right, let's do this. The moment everyone's been waiting for. We're going to welcome onto the show a special guest. He is tearing apart the Discord one voice channel at a time. It's unclear how high on coke he's going to be, but let's bring in Sawyer. Sawyer, how are we doing this morning?
Good morning to everybody. How's everybody doing there? Thanks for having me on the show this morning, Mike.
I honestly, it feels like it was a dress down day at work today. Feels a little more casual over there. Sawyer.
Yeah, market's down. We're dressing down. Casual Tuesdays over here. It was a little bit early getting up this morning, but that's all right. Anytime I can be on the morning marketplace, always make the effort. But yeah, sorry. The real reason is dry cleaning. Yeah. Wasn't trying to bring on a wrinkled white shirt for the morning marketplace. So we're business casual today.
I like it. For those of you who aren't in the Discord, Sawyer, I think he's almost done it every week. Every other week has done like a little voice channel where he goes like in a real big deep dive on the marketplace. It's some helpful information and just like a good hang. So if you're not in the Discord, highly recommend getting in there. But Sawyer, I noticed you put something in the Discord today. The Series 1 market cap has actually trended up a little bit. Are we coming up a little?
Yeah, so taking a look at this, and this is something that everybody kind of knows I've been religiously monitoring. We're actually up 1.6% in the past 24 hours. So I talked about this in the voice channel yesterday. Shout out to the guys over at Own the Moment, Justin, Coop. What's the other guy's name? It's slipping my mind.
TJ.
And TJ. Shout out to those guys and the site they run, otmnft.com. You can check out the market caps of each individual set. And I talked about this in the voice channel in the Discord yesterday, is really what I'm looking for here is, okay, it's down on the week, right? For the 7-day ticker, for it to be in the red, but then to see a little bit of green in the 24-hour and then the 4-hour. And we're kind of starting to see that in the S1 base set right here. It's down a little bit in the past 4 hours, but that's okay. It's down like 0.5 percentage point. So, and what that kind of indicates is, hey, we're getting all these moments at a discount from where they were a week ago. However, in the past 24 hours, it's actually, trending up. So it's starting to level out. And then in the past few hours, maybe it's up or down 0.5 percentage point. And that's what we're seeing right now with the S1 base set.
Do we think, and we can get into like the news of the week a little bit too, but I want to make sure I give credit to who said it? Dan. I think someone else said it too, but I'll give Dan the credit. Do we think, right? Like the announcement came out, like no pack or no hollow packs, maybe a premium pack. We'll still getting a hollow pack, but it might not be for a couple weeks. Do we think people were like, I got that Dapper loaded up. Maybe I just go splash around.
It's probably some of that. I think that some users did get liquid in preparation for the hollow pack, and then yesterday they say, oh, just kidding, we're actually going to push the hollow pack back a week. But one big driver is LeBron's up 29%. The LeBron Doug actually this is actually kind of crazy. His non-TSD is actually the lowest ask is higher than his TSD.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I think it's because of the circulation count. The TSD has 44% ownership. The non-TSD has 77%. But it's probably that. I don't know. It's really tough. To move a market like this, it only takes, I don't know, maybe like a couple dozen users investing in the top 25 players, and that could bump up the market cap. So there's probably a little bit of that, and you can probably expect people, continuing to get liquid into next week in preparation for the hollow pack.
Yeah, that makes sense. Kyle, I'm with you, dude. Hollow pack going to cool cat completions. That's why they canceled the drop. I'm with you. I think that's 100% what's happening. But Sawyer, so how are you? And you covered this a little bit. We've talked offline a little bit, but like, what is your thought process right now with just attacking the marketplace? Because I feel like there's a couple of different schools of thoughts. I think some people are like, hey, it's actually leveling out right now, so like now's the time to get it. I think some people are like, oh, with the hollow drop coming, with the off season coming, we're going to see it dip a little bit lower. And then there's other people who are like, hey, I don't think it can dip low. Like physically, it can't go lower than this. So where are you at right now?
Sure. Yeah. So I've been fairly consistent that, hey, that February 13th to 14th market cap is what I've based all of my projections on. Right. And, you can take a look on OTM NFT. February 13th, about midday, the market cap was around 55,000. And I've always said, hey, I would put a 20 to 30% premium on that market cap. But at the end of February 14th, it was all the way up to about 64,000. So there's a $9,000 range between, around 55,000 to 64,000. And I was just putting a 1.2 to 1.3 multiplier. And so I just kind of took like the average. I just said, okay, we'll just call the market cap 60K. A 1.2 to 1.3 multiplier, 20 to 30% premium on top of that would put the market cap at around 72 to 78,000. And that's where I felt comfortable purchasing all this S1 stuff. Now, in the morning, I woke up to a morning and it was at 78,000. By that evening, it was at 72,000. So with an immediate drop off like that, I was like, man, I think this thing's going to break down below 70. At this point, floating around 65,000. I mean, you're essentially at the market cap before this great bull run, right? You can get these moments at pricing. Like there are some moments, I think I was taking a look at the Jamal Murray Series 1 Top Shot debut. That's actually cheaper now than it was on February 13th, February 14th. Yeah. So if there are people, I think at this point, you have to make a decision. What am I comfortable spending money on right now? That even if this goes down, let's say another 20 to 30%, am I confident enough in everything that Top Shot is doing that I can take a 20 to 30% dip hit over the next 3 or 4 months? Because I know when S3 comes out, this thing is going up. I know, when Run It Back comes out during the summer, prices will rise. I think every one of us has to get comfortable with making that. Where I'm at personally, again, I was hoping the hollow pack would come out this week and then we'd see playoff packs. I'm probably going to wait for those releases to come out to see what happens. Listen, if the market cap goes back up, right? If we start to see an uptick and it goes above 70, it goes above 72K, that's where my original projections were. That's where I originally said I'm comfortable with. So I have no problem paying for it, but I'm continuing to monitor. The stuff that I am comfortable buying is the common floor, right? Yeah. The $3 floor in preparation for trade tickets. I think the throwdowns, the Series 2 throwdown rares, I don't know. Do those go lower? I feel like can those go any lower? Is that they're at $1,800, $50 for an 1,800?
Yeah, I know. There was a lot of conversation about this. Like, what's the sharpest way to like raise your collector score if you're trying to, qualify for the hollow, or just in general, like you want to get your collector score up a little bit. And I know like the common sentiment is like just scoop those 40K like $2, $3 moments, right? That's the quickest way, most financial savvy way to do it. I also think those throwdowns being like only 35 or $40 or whatever, considering it to be a rare moment, I think that like that's another way to do it. But you're right, like it is getting to the point where those throwdowns are just kind of wildly they're just getting to a price point that's kind of nuts. But I'm with you on like how to attack the marketplace, and we've said this from the beginning on lots of different things. But you have to set your own personal price point of like, I'm okay at this number. If it gets to this number, this is where I feel like I'm gonna scoop. And then I don't know, like me personally, I've adjusted that number as time has gone. Like the Kevin Porter Jr., I've talked about this before, but is like the example that I like using, where the Kevin Porter Jr. was like around $300, and I was like, I'm comfortable getting this at $300. But I'm also comfortable getting it at 325, so I'm just going to keep watching it at 300. And then it dipped down to 250. And then it's like, okay, I know I'm comfortable with getting it at 250, but I'm going to watch it a little bit longer. And now, I mean, I don't know, it's like $100 right now. So I think just being like setting your boundaries, your goalposts of like where you're comfortable buying is like the most important thing to do, and then go from there.
Yeah, and I just want to point out, there's a question from Daniel Rosenbaum in the chat. He asked why 20 to 30% premium, right? Mm-hmm. And great question. I haven't gone a lot into explaining that. The reason why I put a 20 to 30% premium is on February 13th to 14th, there were 50,000 accounts with one moment, right? And I believe the user base was made up at that point primarily of users that reflect a collector behavior profile. These are users that are more apt to complete challenges. They're more apt to buy a moment and not immediately list it on the marketplace. They're more apt to collect and hold on to moments. I believe the makeup of the user base then skewed towards a collector profile. We've gone from 50,000 users to over 500,000 users in the past 100 days since February 13th, 14th. I believe only 20 to 30% of those additional 450,000 users fit the traditional collector profile, right? And so I'm just adding 20 to 30% in market cap just based on users that would join the site and understand that, hey, I'm a collector, I'm not a rent seeker, I believe in the long-term viability of this project, and B, are savvy and sharp enough to understand that S1s are the way to go. And Series 1 Top Shot debuts are, super rare on the site. They're only going to get more rare, and they'll have that kind of analysis moving forward. So that's my take on it. But again, not financial advice. These are my best estimates. I'm already kind of wrong where I thought it would go. So everyone's kind of got to decide for themselves. I'm just trying to arm people with information to make the best decisions for themselves with where they feel innately this is all at.
Yeah, of course. None of this is financial advice. There was Andrew too. I appreciate this comment. Struggling to stay active on Top Shot, playing the waiting game, trying to be patient. I feel that too. One of the things, and I was talking about this with Greg offline this week. The Moment Ranks daily fantasy thing has been really cool, and it's really cool in a lot of ways. Like if you like fantasy sports, of course this makes sense, but it goes back to the whole utility thing. And I know LG did that. From the first minute, had like a long thread on this over the weekend as well, like utilities coming. I agree though. I feel like there needs to be more happening. And I think MBL has also talked about this. Like we need more functionality on the platform itself, like where it's not just coming on and looking at the marketplace and then looking at your moments. Like there needs to be other ways that we can interact with the platform and interact with the product. And that's why, again, the Moment Ranks thing has been so cool. I've really enjoyed. Shout out for them for like making this happen on the fly and throwing it together before the playoffs. It makes me really excited for what's going to happen when they have like a full off season to kind of figure out where it's going to go. But I'm right there with you. Like, do you have any thoughts on that, Sawyer, about like how, like what we need to do to stay active on this thing?
Yeah, that's something that's been being pushed by a lot of content creators, and that I've given a lot of thought to that. It seems, obviously the fantasy thing is a natural kind of spillover, and I think a lot of people joined in January and February. I think you even joined off the Bales football article. Yeah. So there's that natural spillover, right? It seems like that market is kind of tapped at this point. I mean, they did like what was it with FanDuel? Yeah, exactly. So I think that they can grow that out. I think there's other things that they can do rather than like just a traditional fantasy sports model. And you're kind of seeing that like, oh, we'll put boosters or multipliers with rarer moments and different things like that. I think that they can get even more creative with things like that. Like, you have moments at like certain arenas or, against certain players. Or, there's a lot. That space is wide open to expand that. One point I do want to make, though, is that the main utility it seems to be here with these NFTs, with Top Shot in particular being like kind of the main NFT, is speculation, like gambling. Like, okay, I'm going to put this much money in because I think it's going to be worth this much. I mean, that's like the real utility here. Is kind of the speculation. And so I think that, listen, this thing.
Did I freeze or did you freeze, Sawyer?
I think you froze. I'm still going, but.
Sorry, you're good. It was me. I apologize. Keep going.
Yeah, no problem. So I think, but listen, I'm excited. I think that Top Shot has, and I don't want to be like, the defense lawyer for Top Shot, but listen, these guys, in December, they had like a few thousand users, right? And all of a sudden, a couple months later, they go to a few 100,000 users and they have $40 million in one day being spent on the marketplace. And so I think everything just shifted to like, how do we build out this site where we can roll out enough moments and packs to everyone? And they got kind of caught up in that windstorm. But now that they've done that, right, and market prices are coming down, valuations coming down, you can see, right, in the office hours, Roham's jumping on Twitter, he's replying to tweets, and the focus is now, how can we improve the process of all of this, right? How can we improve like quests, challenges, like collector scores? How can we engage traditional casual users and turn them into collectors? And they're hiring constantly, but it takes time. When you hire someone, it's not like they just show up to work one day and they're like, hey, I've got A, B, and C, and I'm ready to execute on it by lunch. It's like, no, you have to brainstorm these ideas. You have to talk about the process and how you're rolling it out. And I think that's happening right now. But the roadmap that they're offering, I do believe they're going to get this thing figured out during the off season. And so I'm not too worried about the utility, but it is something they have to ramp up. But I think they know that. And one thing that I think is really cool about Top Shot is the communal aspect of this, right? All the different third-party websites. That Moment Ranks just comes up and is like, oh, first it was Swish, right? But there's like no affiliation, right? This guy just like Fleo just did it, right? I mean, that's kind of like the idea. Like, and like you look at his streams, it's like some kid in like a college dorm or something. But he like put this daily, and no disrespect or anything. Not everybody can have an office like this. However, it's like somebody just was like, oh, I'll just do this. And I've just never seen that with other things. I haven't really been a part of other things besides Top Shot, but I think that that'll come along.
Yeah, I'm with you. I also apologize if my Wi-Fi goes in and out. Yachty's here. If you were subscribed to the Patreon, you've seen me lose my goddamn mind with StreamYard. But yeah, I'm with you. I think and this isn't even pushing back, but one of the frustrations that I'm starting to find now, and I brought it up before, I'm getting a little frustrated with like the speculative, not even speculative, the breadcrumb information that we get. That's actually, I wouldn't even call it breadcrumb, because then we'd at least know what the breadcrumb was. It's almost like a fairy dust of being like, but guess what's coming? Buckle up, because you know what I mean? Like almost like the wink nod that we're getting in tweets and in office hours, where it's just like, you don't need to create that buzz if you, because what's happening, I'm sorry, I'm like rambling. What's happening is that they're creating buzz without the ability to fulfill buzz in a timely fashion. Another example of this is even just like don't tell us then the holo pack and the premium pack is coming next week. You can just say, hey, before the end of the season, you're going to get a holo drop. But by letting us know, be like, next week the holo drop is happening, and then all of a sudden it's pushed back again. It feeds that narrative of like, hey, we got great things in store. We just don't know when that's happening, because what ends up happening is you see it in our Discord, you see it everywhere throughout the community, that it's kind of, we build up this whole narrative of like, this amazing thing is about to happen. And then when like a pretty good thing happens, that's not an amazing thing, we come out with pitchforks ready to start a fire. Cause we're like, it didn't come with a car. I thought I was getting a car with this challenge. Yeah. So I think that's one of my frustrating things that I'm finding. And we're seeing it like, Roham was very active on Twitter last night, replying to a couple of threads with some like helpful information, but then also some things of like, get ready. And it's like, I don't need any more get readies. I'm already here. I'm already ready to go. Like, let's not, like, give me the information when you have the information is kind of where I'm at. And that's like a long ramble. It's just something that I'm continuing to see through office hours, through messaging, that it's just like, and I've said this before, like, constant communication isn't necessarily transparent communication. And I'm not of the mindset that they have to be telling us every single goddamn thing that they're doing. I don't think that's a requirement, but don't give me like veiled transparency. That's not real. Like, don't like try to mislead me a little bit. All right, I'll end rant.
Yeah, I think they're struggling a little bit with the messaging. And I think too that, again, Jacob was, it's hard because there's, Jacob did say like, listen, we want the collector score to be on the website before we do the holo pack. But they did say, hey, the holo pack is coming next week, and this was last week, so it
right
here this week. So yeah, I think that they're probably going to get like broader and more general and round out like the sharpness of when things are coming, right? And I think that would be a much better idea if they said, listen, you're going to get a holo pack before the end of the playoffs, right? And it just leaves this like 6 weeks window, you know what I mean? Okay,
yeah,
in this time or whatever. So I think they're going to continue to get better with the messaging. I just think that they're playing whack-a-mole right now.
Right.
And like the biggest mole is the community sentiment. And so they're trying to address that, and they kind of went into it head first, but you're going to fumble the ball on that stuff.
Yeah. I want to talk about
wild here.
Wait, say that again?
I said, I know the chat looks like it's going wild here. I just see it scrolling on the right.
Oh yeah. No. A lot of good stuff. Like, or let me share some of it. Yeah, Kyle's like, people want a roadmap and then get pissed when the roadmap has to change. Totally, right? I agree. I'm not saying that. I think they're in a tough spot, right? Because they grew so fast and are trying to keep up with it, and they probably obliterated the plans that they did have. And I'm with Yachty too. Like, I do think they're trying. I don't think it's not, I think I'm just more frustrated with, it seems to be a consistent thing, right? It's not, for me, it wasn't like, I don't know, if you mess up messaging one time or whatever, you learn from it, but it seems to be like a consistent trend. The other thing I wanted to talk about too was I'm seeing on Twitter, it feels like everyone has shifted the conversation. I know you brought it up too, and I agree with it, but it feels like almost a narrative push where it's like, I actually didn't get into NFTs for NFTs. I got into it for the community. Like, where it does feel like we're pushing this whole community thing, which I find very interesting, because you're right. There is something really cool about all these people coming together. I mean, like, I met you through this. I met a lot of people through, I met Dustin through this. Like, the community aspect is really cool, but it almost feels like when the account valuations are down, I'm seeing a lot of tweets being like, well, actually, I got into it for the community anyways. I just think I'm just noticing the trend on Twitter, I think is what I'm saying. So it's been kind of interesting seeing that. I don't know, because if the community aspect is really, really important to this, then pay me. It's kind of, you know what I mean? Where it's like, so does that mean, I don't know. I'm kind of rambling a little bit.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'll just say this. I think the community aspect is something that people that's a new narrative that like obviously we're in this small Discord ecosystem, right? But like when you're caught up in it, sometimes you're not always able to take a step back and be like, oh, this is cool. But that is, I think that's the power of Top Shot, and I don't want to take away from that. But yeah, you're right. Listen, would I be talking about how great the Discord community is? as much on Twitter or in the Discord community or whatever if everything was up across the board. No, I'd probably be talking about how everything is across the board, right? Like, so
right.
yeah, that's what you talk about when the money is down. However, I do think that is something that's unique. But I think it's a part of the collector world. Like when I was into Pokemon when I was younger, like it was like the 5 weird kids in 5th grade that like all huddled around were like, oh, my Charizard or whatever. Like, and so I know now there's like 50 of us that are like, my Marcus Smart Hollow. But I do think the community aspect, and that's why like I pump you on Twitter. And like I talk about the Team Hold Discord is because I think, I'm a part of like a few others. There's no other Discord that has the range that we have, or like the sharpness in collectors, or like people offering their own insights, like actually Jeb Bush or a Deep Threat or Real Rad Dad or so many people. Surgical Complete. I don't want to leave anybody out. Aaron Bohr. There's so many people in there, right, that are offering their perspectives, and that's, I think, what helps get people through these transition periods, or at least adds to, like, I got convinced to become a more serious collector by people in the Discord.
Yeah. No, I do. I think it's such a valued, and I think that is true outside of Top Shot too, right? Like, I think a community. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit of an echo. I don't know what that is now. That might be on your end, Sawyer. Just if other people are hearing it, maybe not. But I do think like the community aspect is super important. Where so that it's like completely throwing me now. I apologize.
Am I the echo? What's going on?
Let me know in the chat if other people are hearing it. If you guys are hearing it, maybe it's just in my head. It's been one of those mornings, guys. I do think the community part is big heck. Sorry, didn't mute his P-Hub. Yeah, we can blame StreamYard again. Actually, all right. I think we're good. I'm not hearing it as much anymore. But no, I agree. I mean, the community part is important in any sort of organization. So whether it's like Top Shot, whether the community that you work in, like when I worked in higher education prior to this, the whole higher ed community was an important thing as well. The comedy community, like I do think community is such an important aspect of all of this stuff. And I'm with you, right? Like it's made it more fun during the downtimes. It allows you, I don't know, the whole Michael Scott joke. Like I love inside jokes. I hope to one day be a part of them, right? Like that's how we're getting that kind of vibe from it. And I think that is really important. That is really important. And I just noticed the narrative shift on Twitter of it being about the community. Ooh, Jordan Charles says, how can one join the Discord? Says the invite is invalid. Ooh, interesting. I'm going to put it in the chat. I wonder, I thought for sure the invite that I had in there was forever, but maybe it was a 7-day one. So I will update that, but I'm going to throw it in the chat right now. Yeah, if you guys aren't in the Discord, it really is a good time. We have a lot of people doing a lot of fun stuff. It comes both from like a serious collector point of view, also just like a fun goofing around point of view. There's a lot of exciting stuff in there. And look at guys, everybody doing the Lord's work right now. How about we like the button, you cowards?
Like the button, subscribe, turn on notifications.
All the things. All right. I feel like that's enough of me, playing devil's advocate for a lot of this stuff. Of course, I'm still like super high and super bullish on this stuff. I just, there was just like a couple of things that were standing out over the last couple of days where I'm just like, come on, guys, get your shit together. Get your shit together.
What do you think about the run it back? I mean, that's what I'm really looking forward to. Is like Allen Iverson, Shaq, Tracy McGrady having a shot at those. And like, does this coincide with the trade ticket system? Are they gonna correlate? Like,
you think that's the first time we see tickets? You think is with the run it back?
Well, listen, I think at this point, like, what do they say? Like, trade tickets are at least a few months away from happening,
right? And that's when run it back would be, right?
So let's double that.
Yeah, I know, right?
A hollow pack was supposed to come out this week. It's not coming out till next week. So
I know.
2 months, ergo 6 months. I don't know. That's the thing that I'm really looking forward to. Yeah. Like this summer, and Roham's talking about economic fixes. I know some people in the chat were talking about like being able to do auction style listings. Mm-hmm. I believe he's like I believe he's tweeted that that's in the works, or they want to see that happen. They're working on that somewhere, like in the suggestion. NBA Top Shot or on Twitter, he's talked about a little bit about that. I think you're also going to see the circulation, the supply gets squeezed. You're not going to see as many drops, or the drops that do happen are going to be rare and legendary tiers, or they're going to be really cool, like common moments, like playoff common moments or something. So I do think that there's going to be a little bit of help during the off season to at least, and I don't know that we need to see a rebound in pricing. We just need to see a floor, like as long as it remains consistent, you know what I mean? And it kind of bottoms out, I think we'll be all right.
I know, and I feel like we had a 3-week run where everything was making sense, where things weren't diving, and then like playoff performance or player performance we'd get an uptick because there'd be good playoff or good performance, and then we'd see a dip because there'd be bad performance, and that got me excited. Because I wanted to make sense versus just like when February where everything was going up regardless, and now everything's going down regardless. I'm with you. I'm looking forward to some leveling out. To talk about the run it back a little bit, I am excited. I mean, the idea of Shaq or Iverson or T-Mac, that's really exciting. Even some of the shitty run it backs, like just the idea of another run it back drop, because that was something that predated my involvement. Like run it back had already happened. I am really excited about that. I do think it's like a nice thing to look forward to in the off season, in between the draft and summer league, most likely. I think where I'm at though, and this has happened so many times with like the badges, with the all-stars, like all of those things. I'm just trying to level out my expectations a little bit more, so that I am excited about the run it back. I am going to line up. I'm going to try to get one. But I think what I'm going to try to allow my brain, or to focus my brain on, is not to expect an entire market boom because of it. I think that's where we get into trouble, where we're like tying these things in together. Like, let's just be excited about run it back, but let's not make run it back a marker for the market to boom, or like all of a sudden we're getting 1 million new users because of it,
Yeah, and let's just take a step back and just make an argument and a little pitch for it. And this is kind of going back 15 minutes in the show, but where everyone should get comfortable with this whole Top Shot thing is buying moments and players that you like.
Yeah.
That is always, no matter in any kind of market, whether it's down or up, as long as you're buying moments and players that you like and highlights that you enjoy, you'll have fun with Top Shot, right? And so, like, we've made jokes about it, but like when Nico Mannion's Top Shot debut comes out, I'm going to try to corner that market because I love Nico Mannion.
Is Nico from your hometown? Are you a big Arizona guy?
I don't know. I followed him at Pinnacle. Like, he was always on Ball is Life. And it's just like, like the small point guard that like otherwise should not be out there. And then he had like the carrot top, and I was like, here's the Nico pump. Absolutely. And I just root for him. And the fact that like, he's like a 20-20 player. He gets in when the Warriors are up 20 or down 20 is like, there's like, I mean, what else can you expect to go in? But it's somebody that I like. And so like, you've got your PJ Washington. Mm-hmm. Other people have, Bol or, the Plumlee movement or whatever. But like, everyone should get that one player and just like become fanatical about it and just.
To go to the run it back for a second too. Is this 2006? Am I making that up? I know or maybe it's like a 2006 to 2010 range. They basically said it was somewhere in that run.
Really? But I'm Shaq from 06. God, I was hoping we got like Lakers Shaq.
Or maybe it's 04. Maybe it's 04. I can't remember. I feel like there's some information out there on it, and I apologize that I don't have it on there. But
wouldn't it be great if it was like early 2000? Like,
yeah,
Lakers, Shaq, Sixers, Iverson. Well, Iverson didn't leave the Sixers till 06, 07.
When did they play each other in the finals? Was that 01?
Yeah, 2000, 2001. Yeah. 2001. Yep.
I was going to say,
imagine a step over Tyrone.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh my God.
Hell yeah. That would be incredible.
Like the Kobe to Shaq alley-oop. Again, I think it was against the Blazers in the Western Finals. Like, oh my God, you could just do, or Tracy. I don't know. Like, and that's what it's 2005 to 2010. Thank you, We the People.
Yeah, shout out We the People.
I just got way less excited about this. Who is it? Like, Who was Shaq? Like Shaq with the Celtics, or who was he with at that time? No, I guess he was still with the Lakers at that point.
Lakers, maybe the Heat. I don't know. I'd still take Heat. I'd still take the Heat. I saw a comment in here. Where is it? Fung Yulin. PJ Washington Cool Cats price. All right, let's fucking talk about the Cool Cats just for a second. I'm gonna share Own the Moment site real quick. Shout out Own the Moment. They do really good stuff. And let's go over to the challenge. I just want to see like where we're at with I think, yeah, so almost 2,800. I do wonder though, right? So this shuts down in a couple hours. So I guess the site will be out of maintenance by then. But it looks like so almost 2,800 with, I would say, at least another 130, 140 people going to complete it. So it looks like we should be sub 3K. But holy shit! I mean, the Luca being 900 is just kind of wild. It is kind of wild. Oh, shout out producer Coop out in here. Shout out producer Coop.
What's up, Coop?
But yeah, this is this I cannot wait for this to be over. I like deep down in my bones, I'm so excited. For the last like 72 hours, I've been like, should I just rip the Band-Aid off and sell all these bad boys, get like 1,700 back and go buy some Series 1 stuff? But where are you at with Cool Cats right now? You ready for this to be over?
Well, no, I wish I had like $1,800 to drop in the marketplace right now. I would like look. It's like at an all-time low to complete this. I mean,
pretty crazy.
You know what I mean? Like, dude, I got involved. I signed up on February 22nd. Right? It was $18,000 to complete this challenge on February 22nd. It is now less than $1,800. Right. So a 90% devalue, like it's a tenth of what you could complete it. I don't know. I've gotten really into challenges. This is something that I was not involved at when I got on the site originally because they were just so outrageously expensive. But I don't, and like people are like, oh, it's the people are so underwhelmed with the LaMelo. I just think, listen, I'll say this and I'll pump this because I truly do believe it. And I'm not even pumping this because I've completed the Cool Cats Master Challenge. Anyone that completes the Cool Cats Master Challenge, Top Shot is going to reward you beyond the LaMelo moment. I can almost guarantee it as if I work for Dapper Labs. There's no way that you guys who have participated in this like 100-day long challenge and completed, bought 29 moments, taken a bath on most of them, Top Shot knows all of this. And like only hardcore collectors, only the most hardcore of hardcore collectors, and Mike, you're one of them, are completing this challenge, right? It takes a little bit of money, right? But it takes you have to have like an inherent sense of like, dude, I am in this for the long run. I love challenges. I love Top Shot. You guys are getting rewarded. Like beyond the LaMelo moment, I promise you.
So Rocket Silence says, "Is it a free LiAngelo moment?" So this is my thing though. They've also already said, right, it's not going to be something financially rewarding. Basically, they said something about that like a month or so ago. They're like, something else is coming, but it's not going to be anything that is like marketplace worthy. Essentially, is what they said. And now I think people are like, is that true though? Maybe it will be because they feel so bad. Where are you at though? Where do you think because I'm of the mindset, maybe I'm just so hurt by it that I'm like keeping my expectations low. So that way I'm not disappointed when they're like, oh, we're going to give you an extra 200 points on your collector score. But like, what do you actually think is something that they're going to be able to do with this?
I think that they would tie it to like a special pack. I don't know what it looks like. Maybe you'll get like a Cool Cats Master pack and like there'll be like 3 moments in it and like only the Cool Cats Master Challenge completers will get these 3 moments in the packs and they'll just airdrop them, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm Dapper Labs, like I have to signal to the community to reward this kind of behavior. Yeah. Because you know what I mean? Like, again, these are the most hardcore collectors. And that's what they want to transition everyone to, right? Mm-hmm. You've got moments on the site and maybe you're someone like me who's completed 2 challenges, but I've never done like a long-term challenge, right? And they're going to do more long-term challenges. They want to convert someone like me to completing a long-term challenge. And I think that they need to signal to the community that like just a reward, like a LaMelo reward at the end of it is not enough, and that there are going to be different things tied.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I think some of the things that's keeping me from completely, beating myself up. I it is you are getting a LaMelo Cool Cat. I'm excited about that. It's LaMelo. It's going to be sub 3,000, which is in between his rare moment and his base set moment. I like that. It's a special insert. That's fun. But I don't think we're going to see a challenge that includes 29 moments again, or 30 moments, I guess, total. Like, I don't think we're going to see I don't think we're going to see a marathon collector like that, at least not in a while, not for a while. So to be in on this from the beginning as something that is, I don't know, almost like a sign of the Top Shot times too. Like we will remember the Cool Cats. For that, I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm glad I did it. Content purposes, I'm glad I did it. But I'm trying to steer clear of being like the speculation's all over the place. I wanted to share, I think I lost it, but someone was like, you're going to get a red star next to your name. I apologize who said that and I missed it. John's like, you're going to give you a Crypto Kitty avatar. Like, I'm trying not to get too excited of like, I love the idea of you're getting a pack with like 4 moments that are all, just going to those people would be kind of cool.
One thing that I've seen on Twitter that people are starting to talk about, and they partnered with some company, and this is what kind of spurred it, but is content or community enabled content. Like you'll have access to this. Like, so anyone, and the Plunge Father has his own Discord.
Yeah.
29 means 29.
Yeah.
But if Shot had like some section or Discord or some content that was like the only way for you to unlock that was by completing this master challenge, or tying it to collector score or a certain amount of moments owned or completing sets or challenges, I think you're going to see that.
Yeah.
There's just an endless amount of things that they can do with the blockchain, with the proof that they have, the receipts from the blockchain. So I think I think that's kind of what they meant by like, hey, this is not going to be a financially incentivized reward, but you're going to have access to stuff that like 99% of the community doesn't have access to. I think that could be.
Aaron says, what do y'all think of the exclusive Discord? Sounds corny to me. So you're not talking about the Cool Cats one though, but are you talking more, Aaron, are you talking more specifically about what Top Shot said about how like if your collector scores X or whatever, like within Top Shot? I mean, I get it. I get that that's supposed to be like an incentivized thing of being like, okay, you get access to another thing. I understand the more white glove treatment of customer service for like super whales. I mean, I feel like every kind of company does a thing like that. The idea of getting into a Discord with, I don't know. I'm also the wrong generation of people to ask that to, because the only reason I'm in Discord is because of Top Shot. So I'm not someone who was active in Discord prior to this. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like I don't know. That's not a thing I'm excited about, but some people might be, and whatever, I have
an offline argument to make to you for why a channel like that would, you and I specifically should be very interested in that. But I don't know. I would be cool. I think it would. I don't know. Because the only people that are going to be in that community are people that believe in Top Shot. There is nothing worse than like engaging with somebody in the Discord that's like, Roham sucks. Top Shot. But I'm in the Discord chatting about it because I otherwise have no life. I did like, dude, whatever. Like people, I'm like done. It's like, dude, if you don't get Top Shot at this point, like I don't have time to catch you up. Whatever.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Tell me done shit is done.
No, I'm with you on that. I am with you on that. And I know like John was like, yikes, imagine being in the Top Shot General Discord more often. I don't think it's going to be like that. I think it's probably because I'm imagining if you are that far into it that you qualify for that, whatever, that special Discord, that you would be, a little like at least bullish on it. I think it's less of like people losing their damn mind. But yeah, no, I get it. I get it. Sure. I mean, I'm not
You're looking for like the 10K valuation again to your moments. I mean, that's anything short of me being like, Mike, dude, I think it's going up 10K. I don't know.
I mean, it's been kind of wild. Like specifically how I've been approaching things has been pretty drastically different in the last, I'd say, 2 weeks than it was for the last month. When I feel like I haven't had a wild shift like this in a while, where I mean, I don't know. I moved off of a Zion Rising Star moment. I've been listing. I moved off of a Series 1 MGLE this week. I've been listing my Eastern Conference Finals stuff, which I was way high on, and I'm still high on. But we're seeing the market come down to a place where some of these moments that I thought I was priced out of forever have now come into range. And if you're set, like, if I can move off a Zion Rising Star, a Nerlens Noel Series 1 MGLE, and like something else to then go get Ja's Top Shot debut base moment, I mean, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Right. But I haven't sold anything in such a long time, outside of like when all of a sudden the floor went up to $20 because you needed X amount of moments, right? I haven't like sold any meaningful things. And if you told me a month ago that I was selling some of my Series 1 stuff, I'd be like, no, not a chance. So it has been kind of nuts to just like see. And I mean, we talked about this the last time you were here about how like our strategies evolve over time. Like with how the market evolves, we have to evolve with it. And who knows, maybe like 2 weeks from now, I'm going to be like, wow, that was a real mistake to move off of some of that Series 1 stuff. But I'm kind of like consolidating a little bit.
And I'm sorry, did we not review any of the playoff games? Are we just skipping out on that this morning? Or
dude, no, we can definitely talk about that. I was frustrated with the playoff games this weekend.
Playoffs?
Yeah, playoffs. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, what? Do you want to talk about your Knicks? Is that where you're at?
Oh my God. Well, just to get a little jib in it myself, we were talking about how like, like a month or two, probably a month ago, we were finally seeing the market level out and like players' performances were starting to reflect in their price. I just want to say Julius Randle's moment valuations is being reflected by his performance.
Oh my gosh. He
Somebody
is
messaged me in the Discord. I forget who it is. They might even be in the chat. And they were like, hey, should I get in at Randle at like 220? What if the Knicks crap the bed during the first round and Randle just plays horrible? And I was like, yeah, exactly. Where's and I told the guy, and it's like, sorry, my French bulldog is
that's good
right now. But somebody was like, I told this person, I was like, yeah, but like, what are the chances that Julius Randle just like up and craps the bed during the playoffs? Like,
I mean, I picked the Hawks, but I picked them in 7, and I also wrote something up on this, which shout out the Substack. If you're not subscribing, please subscribe. I thought Randle was going to demolish the Hawks, but that the Hawks would still win those games. Like I thought he was going to average 30 and 12 or something, but that the Hawks are just like, they're deeper. And we're seeing in the playoffs, the Hawks are deeper, right? They don't bring anybody bad into the game. Right. Like if their worst player right now is Gallo, like you're in pretty good shape. You're a deep team. I still don't believe. I mean, now that the Joel Embiid injury might be a looming thing, although I don't think it's so serious, but I don't think either one of these teams is going to give the Sixers fits. Like the Sixers are too strong, but I think we're just seeing, right. We're seeing that the Knicks just aren't as deep as the Hawks. The Hawks are more talented. And the Knicks I think the Knicks should count this as a W. I think everyone should chill out. Like if this is over, if this gets wrapped either in game 5 or 6, don't beat yourself up. This was a hell of a run. You just need to upgrade a point guard, and you need and the bench. The bench needs to be deeper. Yeah, Lonzo, right? What has there been anything else from the playoffs that you're like any takeaways from the first couple games?
Yeah, watching that Sixers game last night against the Wizards. So shout out to the Wizards, sneaking one with Embiid off the court. But it was, listen, Rui watch. Wow. Yeah. Rui. Holy, like that's what we've all kind of like, we've seen flashes and glimpses of that over the past couple of years, but it's like, man, that's such a great way. And they're probably going to end the series the next game, but going into next year, just seeing what Rui could possibly become in the Wizards offense, I think that's exciting. But the larger takeaway is the Sixers have a real problem with Ben Simmons being on the floor in close games in the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. Because,
go ahead.
Yeah, he can't shoot free throws. Like it is unfathomable to me that you're a professional basketball player and you cannot hit like 70% of your free throw. I don't know what they're going to do. Like they get into a series with Brooklyn and do that. Dude, they are toast.
I know that. That is, and you saw it down the stretch last night too. That is something they are going to run into. I agree. I picked Philly to come out of the East. I didn't realize Ben couldn't hit free throws. I don't think that was a regular season thing. Like, I know he wasn't like the best free throw shooter, but I didn't know he was terrible.
It's gotten worse during the playoff. Like his percent, and you can just tell, dude, he's icing himself out.
Yeah,
that's a huge liability because he has to be on the court in the final 2 minutes.
Yeah, Ben Simmons in transition is like one of like the most talented players in the league. But when you see him in a half court offense at times, you're just like, oh, he can't do this. He can't do this. Yeah. So yeah, I agree. That's going to be something to watch. The AD injury is totally like, shout out Peter Overzet, flipped the series on its head. But like this is that's a problem now, and it's funny. You know, I'm as guilty as this as everyone, but like the back and forth in reactionary stuff of like the Mavs go up 2-0 and we're like the Clippers are dead. The Suns win game 1, but then drop 2 and we're like goodbye Suns. And now I mean things just shift so quickly. But I'm really, and that game's tonight. I think the Suns Lakers is tonight.
Yeah, they're and like. You know, the Knicks get like a couple days off in between, but like the Lakers, it's like, nah, you got to go back like every other night they're playing. And so you don't get that rest. And we're starting to see the injuries catch up. And it was like, oh, like the whole narrative on the Lakers was, well, they're injured during the regular season, but LeBron and AD are going to come back. And all they need to do is just come back for the playoffs and they'll be all right. And it was kind of like, but like, why would they both stay healthy all of a sudden, like come May, if they weren't healthy from December to April? And like you're seeing that now, right? These injuries are catching up to them, and they're not able. They don't have the pieces on that team where, like, if one of them goes down, like they can sustain it and still get through. And
I think that is. I mean, whoever's going to stay the healthiest has the best shot. But I do think I think I said this in like the playoff preview show that we did. But I think whoever wins that series comes out of the West. So it is kind of, you know. And Chris Paul looks a lot healthier. Wait, who are you taking out of the way? You taking the Jazz?
Well, one playoff series we haven't talked about yet is the Grizzlies and Jazz. And just a couple quick points on that, and we'll segue into who I think comes out of the West.
Yeah.
John Morant is like, oh my, dude, this kid is like really good at so many different things in the professional game of basketball. But I was just watching him last night. Like in his S1 TSD, I just think Ja could be something really special in this league. But Donovan Mitchell I don't know. He doesn't get as much press, and it's because they're in the smaller market. I know Rudy Gobert is like, oh, we don't get the respect we get because we're in the smaller market, or they don't get the calls they get because they're in the smaller market. But like the Jazz are pretty good. They are like top to bottom. They've got Clarkson and Ingles coming off the bench. They play really well together, and it was like, and one thing that I like to see in the NBA is like, if a star player goes off on a team, are you able to respond? And it was like, no matter what Ja did, no matter what kind of plays he had, they were always able to respond. And they shoot the three really well. They hit their free throws. They play good defense. They move the ball. I was not high on the Jazz. I'm like, they're just feasting on a West because LeBron and AD are injured all year. I don't know. They're legit. They're legit.
I mean, yes, they are legit. But I also want to preface it by saying they are beating the 9 seed. So I do agree. Like they are legit, and I think they are similar to the Hawks in the sense that like they don't bring in bad players. Like everybody that comes in, they had the 6th man of the year on their team, also the 7th man of the year on their team, right? So like their top 7 is so legit. Maybe I'm just giving them like the Jazz tax where I'm like, I hate Utah. I hate Rudy Gobert. Maybe that's what's happening here. I think if the Clippers get by the Mavs, I think that's a pretty tough matchup for them. And all of a sudden now I think Clippers get momentum. I think if the Mavs somehow, if Luka's all right and they get through the Clippers, I think the Jazz go through the Mavs. But I do think, man, I think the Suns will present a problem. I really do think the Suns are really, really good. I think we're seeing this, and the emergence of DeAndre Ayton has been awesome. Like that's been so fun to watch. Yeah, I know. And I didn't see this though. I thought he was going to I mean, he really is averaging like 20 and 12 in the playoffs against AD and Drummond, who is just trash. Like I need no more Andre Drummond. No more. I don't want to see him. I don't know what he has on Frank Vogel that he's still getting these minutes, but like, holy shit. Like, he's so bad. He's so bad. And I'm with you, Stop and Pop. Greg Ostertag greater than Rudy Gobert. Give me all the Ostertag stock.
Rudy Gobert's pretty good. When I think of it's pretty obvious. We can agree like Brooklyn's going to come out of the East. I mean,
I took Philly. I did take Philly, but now this Ben Simmons stuff is alarming. Because here's the thing: we can't give the Nets any credit for getting by the Celtics right now. Grant Williams, Semi Ojeleye, like, dude. Carson Edwards, they're running out such a bad team right now. Outside of Tatum, who's been like, I could be the best scorer in the league soon, who's looked incredible. But that Celtics team is just trash. So the fact, like, I'm not giving the Nets any credit. I do think they're
Celtics, yeah.
No, dude, they're so bad. But the Nets are terrifying. Like, that offense is terrifying. But I'm excited to see like a team that can actually defend them. Like I think this Bucks Nets series is going to be awesome.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's another team. Listen, the Bucks, and shout out to Stan Loves, the Bucks sweeping the Heat. Shout out to you, buddy. Big shout out to you here on the Morning Marketplace. But the Bucks, I think the Bucks match up really well with the Nets. I think they could make that series really interesting. You've got Drew, Chris, and Giannis, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that they can at least match up with Kyrie, Harden, and Durant. Do they stop them? No. Nothing's stopping them, right? But it's can I wear them down enough on offense, playing defense against them, that I can create my own shots on offense? I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, Drew Holiday is maybe one of my favorite players, so it's been fun watching him get some flowers for what he's doing out there. I still think I think that series could go 7. The Nets are just like so talented, and it's like your big three versus our big three. And as much as I love Drew, I mean, it's probably Giannis is either 1 or 2 as like the best player in a series, but then the Nets next 3 come, right? Like, it's those 3 in a row. So I don't know. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Stan Love killed it. I predict Bucks over Nets. Well, there you have it, people. Brooklyn is sweep in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I'm just love your participation.
Yeah, we love Stan. There was something else I wanted to talk about with the playoffs too that I was excited about. But
Lopez and his hook shot. Let's get into it, Mike. You've been avoiding it all show long.
God,
52% on hook shots, higher than Kareem. Are you kidding me?
I almost
Robin Lopez, the hook shot, jump shot moment. Guys, let's buy out the floor on it. We're pumping, we're dumping that, we're buying that through the offseason. Robin Lopez to $100. Let's get there.
I got to tell you, this Robin Lopez bullshit almost is getting me to want LaMarcus back in the league. Whoa. I just like, what are we doing? Why are we talking about Robin Lopez?
We're talking about a generational player, like Rollo. Are you kidding me? Dude, check out the hair.
No, I am the sideshow Bob of the NBA. I like whatever. He's fine. He's fine. He's not the best basketball player in his family.
Well, he's got the greatest hook shot of all time, Mike. I mean,
of all time.
Don't lie. Hold on, the numbers don't lie. We always want to take a look at the numbers, except when it's Russell Westbrook. Numbers do not lie. Robin Lopez has a lethal hook shot in the NBA.
To get us to this conversation, Weston asked, wait, so who does Sawyer have in the West? You're right. We haven't.
Dude, I'll take the Jazz. I will double down on the Jazz. I know they're playing the Memphis. I'm impressed with the Jazz.
Yeah, I should say I'm impressed with the Jazz. I am impressed. I got a little excited for the Grizzlies, not after game 1, but the way they competed in the other games. I was like, oh wow, maybe they make this a series. And there was a hot minute last night in the mid fourth quarter where I think the Jazz were up like 13 and the Grizzlies came and made it a 3-point game and then got the ball back. And I was like, holy shit, like, oh, this is awesome. It's given me a lot more respect for Dylan Brooks that I don't think I gave him enough credit. And he's still got to figure some stuff out, but he is a lot of fun. He is a lot of fun. But I think you're right. I think the Jazz do need a little bit more love because that could have been a series, and then they just like stepped on their throat. And they're like, no, we're going back to Utah up 3-1. That's a wrap. And it is a wrap. Like that series.
We got Mitchell back. Mitchell really changed that team. Right? Donovan Mitchell is like really, really good. Like really good.
Donovan Mitchell has been awesome. I said this to my fiance last night, who wasn't listening, but Donovan, shout out Kels. Donovan Mitchell plays like he knows he's on TV the whole time, and it's rubbing me the wrong way a little bit. Like it's almost like he's doing these facial expressions and where he's like the camera's on him, so that's why he's doing it. And I don't know why, but it's driving me nuts. I don't know if anyone else is seeing that, if maybe I'm looking into it too much. But
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm gonna put together a highlight reel and throw it out there. Let me know in the chat if anybody else is seeing that as well. Mike says, "Don't hate on the chat's player troll." I know. Oh gosh, Dylan Brooks needs some anger management. That's funny. I do like man. That dude fouls though. That's the thing he needs to work out. You can't be the best player on your team or he's not the best player on his team, but can't get into foul trouble like that. Thank you. All right, Hippy Dippy said it. I noticed it when he shoots free throws. That was one of the times where it stood out. Yeah, he definitely LeBron level awareness of the camera. Matthew, I'll put it in the chat so you can go see how it's below 10K now. I'll put it in the chat there for you. It's just my last name. All right, Sawyer, as we wrap, is there any where are you at? Like what are
Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna start pulling the trigger this week on some S1s. I'm comfortable with the market cap being at what it is. There's some stuff that, in my opinion, is just way too low. Like the Jamal Murray, the Series 1 handles. I know it's not Top Shot debut, but it's like around $50. Dude, I'll spend $50 on that. Like, dude, if that goes down another 20%, goes to 40. Oh my God, I took a $10 bath on it. Like, I don't care. Whatever. I'm going to start buying some cheaper stuff. I'm still monitoring like the more expensive stuff, but yeah. And listen, you and I have been talking in the Discord about like this jaw coming down to like 1,500. I mean, the more expensive stuff, I'm still monitoring that only because that comes down 20%. It's like, well, if I could get it for 1,200, I'd rather not spend 15. But yeah, I'm continuing to monitor this stuff. Some of those throwdowns, like the Russell Westbrook throwdown. Yeah, look at that jaw. I mean,
it's now under 1,500 too. So this was kind of my thought. I know this is my thought process on holding off on some of these, though. I think, something I'm noticing in the marketplace is certain things are more liquid than others. I think this is a moment that can be sold, where some of the other stuff I'm not seeing.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, you keep going. I just wanted to pull that up.
Yeah, no, I'm just targeting like plays and moments that I like. So the Russell Westbrook throwdown, the Series 2 throwdown, where he yams it on beyond.
Yeah.
Like, it's $150 right now. If it goes down to $100, I don't care. Like, I just love that moment. So buying out the Rollo floor is probably going to be a move for me. And then, like, I don't know, Cole Anthony. I want to get into more Cole Anthony's. I'm a huge Cole Anthony fan. I love his moments. I feel like they've gotten right. Like, he's got 2 game winners on the site.
Yeah, it's nice.
A game-winning Cole. Like, I don't know why they're like they've done his Top Shot debut is just like a simple pull-up jump shot. But I guess it was like his first in the NBA. Let me just say, they got so wrapped up in this rookie class. Oh, first steal, first assist, first jump shot. And like, dude, they are terrible highlights. Who cares? Is Cole Anthony going to be top 10 scorer of all time? Like, who cares what his first point was?
I know. I'm totally with you on that.
So I'm buying up stuff. I'm gonna start buying stuff like that. Domantas Sabonis, I think, is way undervalued. Randall, right now, I think you are getting like everyone's just pooping on Randall because he's just not playing well at all. Trae Young being as cheap as he is, like maybe becoming a superstar beyond that. Look, the Embiid injury. Ben Simmons can't shoot free throws. It can get nasty with Atlanta. I'm just saying.
I mean, if Embiid misses games, all of a sudden it's a different thing because we're going to start seeing Dwight Howard play like 35 minutes a game, and we don't want that. All right, I wanted to have one more conversation before we wrap up too. So because the Worm had a good chat. I also shout out Matt Loftus, who's gifted me a JJ Redick right here. I appreciate that. I'm honestly, Loftus, I'm going to tell you, I'm so excited that it wasn't Rolo. I thought for sure that was going to be a Rolo gift that you were sending. So thank you for sharing the JJ. Before we get into this last piece, Worm had a great comment. But before we get into it, if you haven't had a chance to like the stream, please do that. Like the stream, subscribe, join the Discord. Sawyer is doing some awesome stuff with Sharp Shot with Sawyer in the Discord. It's really good. We'll make sure we continue to have Sawyer on every once in a while because he brings good stuff. But Worm says, what about the fan behavior in the playoffs? Crazy stuff. A fan runs onto the court in Washington. So we had that. We had the popcorn in Philly. We had the water bottle in Boston. And then there was something else. Oh, the spitting in New York. Like, I don't know. This is getting out of control. A lot of people are writing it off like we were pent up inside for a year and didn't know how to act around people, which, like, okay. But, like, I don't know. I don't think I deteriorated enough mentally and socially that I'm like, oh, I guess I might spit on someone in a public space. Like, it's out of control.
Yeah, and shout out to the players because a lot of the players have been taking the high road. And I know when they dumped the popcorn on Russ, it looked like he wanted to jump back in the stands. But it's like, oh, it's not a big deal until like a fan gets hit in the face by a player. Like, dude, Trae Young getting spit on. Are you?
That's unbelievable.
Like, I just, the fan running onto the court. It just shows a disrespect for the game, for the culture of the game, where it's like, oh, this is like, I can just do whatever I want when I show up to an arena, and I can treat these like. At the end of the day, these people are human beings.
Yeah,
right? They're not video game characters. Or I just think, I don't know. I do think some of it has to do with like the fans coming back for the first time in a year. I don't know. They go out. It seems like these people are drunk. I mean, I just couldn't imagine doing this stone cold sober. I can't imagine doing it drunk either. But like,
yeah,
it's just bizarre. The NBA is gonna have to crack down. And what worries me is like, what happens if like a player responds? Like, that's what they don't want to happen. But like. Yeah. That's when everything will change.
That is, I mean, and then we vilify them. The thing that's pissing me off this isn't pissing me off the most, but just to be funny, the thing that's driving me nuts is like now I have to be like, wow, Kevin Durant made a really good point in that press conference. That's not what I want to be doing. I want to be dunking on Kevin Durant for his burner accounts. Like, that's what I want to be. And now I'm like, wow, you know what, KD, you were right, man. It was pretty sharp analysis. And it just sucks that that's what the conversation's about right now. And I totally understand, like, Kermo had a good comment of being like, I totally yelled at a New Yorker for taking up 2 spots in a Connecticut Whole Foods parking lot yesterday. And like I'm noticing it when this is like kind of funny, but when I'm crossing the street in New York, if like someone crosses when they're not supposed to, I'm like, oh, look at this fucking tough guy. And then when I cross when I'm not supposed to, I'm like, oh, look at these losers, don't know when to cross the street. Like, I get it. We're all a little jacked up right now, but it's just so it's the conversation's not about basketball right now. We're talking about how we're fucking awful, and that it's a bummer. It is a bummer. And the Boston thing drove me nuts because, and shout out Jaylen Brown, who, like, whether you like the Celtics or not, is like one of the most intelligent, articulate athletes in sports right now, who addressed the Kyrie's comments beautifully, where he was like, no one's denying systemic racism is an issue in Boston that needs to be addressed, but basically being like, Kyrie, you shut the fuck up. When it is but like, then someone goes out there and fires a water bottle at him. And it's like, yeah, just, play into it, asshole. Yeah. What'd you say?
No, called it. It's like, everyone kind of like, piled on Kyrie a little bit, like, dude, come on, man. Is that really what you wanted to? But then somebody does something stupid against Kyrie, and it's like, was he wrong? Like, maybe he was on to something. I don't, now we're starting to legitimize Kyrie in his kind of bizarre stances. But no, I do think that Kyrie raised legitimate points. I do think that, like, some of the NBA media, like, I was listening to NBA radio, and like Scally just was like, Scalabrine, like, shout out to him, but he was like, dude, I've lived in Boston since 2006. I've never heard of any racism. And I'm like, dude, you're a 6'9" white dude in Boston. Like, yeah, what? Like, why would you be afraid? Like, maybe your life experience might be a little bit different than Kyrie's. Like, where the total lack of self-awareness there. I was just like, whatever.
I love the idea of Brian Scalabrine being the like
of like systemic racism. Like, dude, you are not like the shot caller on that one.
What the fuck, Scal?
Yeah. And dude, I like a lot of his takes, so I was really disappointed to hear him go into that. But whatever. But yeah, I think I don't know. It's the NBA. They're gonna have to stop Dan. And I guess the guy in Boston, he's getting hit with like assault or something, right?
Yeah, they read
morning like.
Shout out Cole Buckley, I believe his name is, who looks like every college kid that goes to Northeastern. Yeah, and again, as someone who's from Boston, who even though he's upset with the Celtics, like I get it. Boston's got a lot of shit. They got a lot of problems, and has been. I mean, you look at Bill Russell's comments, right? He's fucked the fans. So I'm not even. I just hate that this is what we're talking about. Like this is what sucks. I think the fans need to chill, man. I think somebody said we need to like 420 and chill. I don't know where the comment is, but like we're excited. Basketball's back. We get to go physically go to events. I want to shout out the co-host of the 89 Cavs. My man Steve is going to the Celtics Nets game today in Brooklyn. But like that's exciting that we get to do these things right now. And I hate that that's what we're talking about. It's a bummer. So shout out to Worm for bringing that up.
Yeah, shout out to Warm also in the Discord. Love a lot of his takes and stuff, his participation. Big fan of you, Warm.
Yeah, we love Worm. Yeah, here we go. Ziggy, 420, Netflix and chill. So there we go. All right, y'all. Thank you for hanging out today. Sawyer, thanks for coming on the show, man. It's always a pleasure to have you.
Always a pleasure to be here.
And somehow we made it through the whole show without getting a PJ drop. So we're gonna smash the PJ drop. We'll get out of here. Make sure you join the Discord. Follow us all on Twitter. Do the things, guys. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be back tomorrow at 9. We out. PJ Washington.